What is splitting in BPD and how does it affect relationships? Let's get into it. We'll be reading and learning from this article, Splitting in BPD, and 3 ways splitting can negatively impact romantic relationships. Personality is identified by our lived experiences, our inherited traits, and our environment. Our personality traits include both genetics and personal experiences. How we engage with our environment, how we think, what we feel, and our outward behavior are a combination of these factors. Sometimes personality can become malformed during key developmental stages in our lives due to adverse conditions like abuse, childhood trauma, neglect, or invalidation. Some of these malformation can cause personality disorders, including BPD. According to Linehan, invalidating a child's lived experiences is one of the biggest predicators of developing BPD and the behaviors associated with it. Understanding splitting. One behavior that is seen in persons with BPD is splitting. Splitting is based on alternating between extremes of idolization or devaluation, all or nothing, and good or bad. The main problem with splitting is that the way a person sees the world is distorted and minimized to a "you're either with me or against me" mindset. In people with BPD, splitting behavior is based off fear of rejection or abandonment to prevent feeling hurt. It's a self-protecting, primitive defense mechanism that helps them feel safe when they're feeling threatened, scared, judged, or misunderstood. Splitting creates tension in romantic relationships, typically including chaos, conflict, and impulsive behavior, especially when a person has been triggered. It's common for those with BPD to see their partner in the best possible light during idolization, and then to dramatically and often impulsively shift to seeing them in the worst possible light during splitting. One of the hardest feelings to cope with regarding BPD is the feeling of shame and self-loathing that can come from putting their partner on a pedestal only to flip to devaluing them when the person can't live up to their expectations. These feelings of self-loathing and shame often trigger a cycle of self-sabotage and further self-loathing. Splitting behaviors in romantic relationships. So 3 common splitting patterns seen in intimate relationships can include forgetting the positive qualities in a partner. Splitting happens impulsively. When a person with BPD ignores the positive qualities with their intimate partner, it's often because they're ruminating on negative qualities as a result of splitting. In essence, when any sort of splitting occurs, any positive feelings a person with BPD has for someone is quickly replaced with disgust, animosity, and even hate. Number 2, extreme anger that can lead to cognitive distortions. So this may include impulsive decision-making, clouded judgment, dichotomous thinking, jumping to conclusions, paranoia, dissociation. For example, if a partner has been devalued and split by a person with BPD, they may deny that their partner got them a birthday gift. Instead, they may engage in distorted thinking or making wild accusations that they never received a gift or that it was purchased for someone else. A natural reaction would be to show a person a receipt or a photo of proof of this, yet this may even be seen as challenging or testing a person with BPD, which may only make things worse. Number 3, impulsive or self-sabotaging behavior. If a person with BPD has devalued their partner, they may engage in self-sabotaging behavior, such as binging on, drugs, alcohol, or impulsively replacing the person with someone new. It should be noted that persons with BPD engage impulsive and counterintuitive behavior as self-protective. For example, their partner asking for space may trigger distortions of thoughts of fearing of abandonment, paranoid ideation, or clouded judgment, where they may impulsively discard the person. However, once the dust settles from the impulsive behavior, many with BPD often experience deep shame and self-loathing, where self-sabotaging behavior is then inwardly directed at themselves. Can splitting be prevented? Because splitting is a primitive defense mechanism that is based on survival mode, it cannot be prevented. However, skills can be learned and implemented to help a person with BPD to start seeing reality in fewer absolutes and with more flexibility. Challenging the misbeliefs and dichotomized thinking. A common pattern is to impulsively run with devaluation splitting without challenging these messages. However, one way to challenge all or nothing thinking is by reframing thoughts by recognizing when words such as only are used and changing them to sometimes. Other suggestions can be to label several other ways a problem can be solved and examining both sides or several sides to an argument. Recognize deeper issues. Is this person or situation really all bad? Or could the outward splitting behavior be suggesting deeper issues in play, such as feeling unsafe or fears of abandonment being triggered? Many times, safety needs, consistency, trust, or predictability have gone unmet or were not consistently met in childhood for persons with BPD. A betrayal of their safety needs in childhood can leave them vulnerable to feeling unsafe, such as being easily triggered or reactive. As a result, common relational disagreements can trigger devaluation unless things remain perfect in the relationship. Practice the pause. Splitting cannot be prevented, but there are ways to recognize if splitting is happening. For example, pause and take notice of what is happening in the environment that may be triggering dichotomous thinking, such as using words like always, never, everything, or nothing. If a person can recognize what is happening environmentally, they can now begin noticing how the environment may be affecting their thoughts, feelings, and behavior so that a healthier shade of gray can be integrated into the situation. And just remember that you're never alone. There are always resources out there to help you.